Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Libra 2024 calendar year forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a card for each month of the year, and that's going to give you a good idea as how the events flow and unfold in the course of the year. And what I will say is this, though, with Libras, and speaking of clairvoyance, do you know, I've lost count of the number of Librans that I've done one-on-one clairvoyant readings for from different countries around the world over the course of the last year. And if you might be interested or see what's involved or curious, have a look at the information that's in the description below. Now, I charge for readings, but what I do not charge for, and which I provide for free with no catch, no obligation, it's a free lunch, is the spiritual gift of healing. It's my sole contract. And information with respect to that is in the description as well. Now, you can take advantage of that yourself if you have the need, or you may know somebody else who can make use of it. But now let's get things underway for you, the highly talented and attractive Libra. Now, you know that there are no video advertisements breaking their way into this content, so you get to relax and enjoy the reading uninterrupted. Now let's see what there is in store for you, shall we? And have a look in January, which is the Page of Cups. February, the Eight of Swords. How's that going to resolve itself, I wonder, with Judgment, that card there. April, the Ten of Coins. I'm not going to give anything away just yet. There's the Lovers. And then it must be June, is it? Let's have a look. The Knight of Swords. Yes, it's June. And then July. What do we have? We have here the Three of Coins. That is always a good omen here. There's good astrology around that. And there's the Emperor. Fantastic astrology around that. And that's a good thing for you to have at this time, particularly in August, I must say. And there's the sun shining away. September is the Two of Wands. That was the Three of Coins earlier. Two of Wands. Here is the Eight of Wands. Let's see what there is here. You're going to love the artwork on this. It's a sort of a medieval deck. Did I mention that? Medieval imagery on this. Really quite fascinating, I think. Main thing is that I get a really good response to it. So I'm able to give you the real deal when it comes to what's going to be happening. And that's the Tower. And here we have for December the Six of Coins. Well, what a great way to finish, I suspect. But why don't we now, I'll bring the vision around. You and I can both have a good close look at this rather beautiful artwork on this deck together while I do the reading for you. Well, in January, you have chosen, or picked rather, probably the most fortunate and auspicious card that you can to start the year, and it's the Page of Coins. Now, the spiritual astrological energies that I'm getting around it are Taurus, Gemini, and Aries. Now, I call her, and I'm assuming it's a her here, the Princess of the Echoing Hills, the Rose of the Palace of the Earth. You will be seen as being beautiful, or handsome as the case may be. Incidentally, these court cards, if any others turn up, they can be both male or female, irrespective of how they're drawn. You'll be seen as being pregnant with life, generous, kind, and benevolent. This is a time, and I suspect this is probably the attitude that you are forming towards the year as a whole, that you are going to be somebody following their own will or true purpose in life. So this energy is about getting in touch with that most important aspect and protecting it, just as this princess or page protects the sphere that's there. And now there can be a physical pregnancy that you hear of here. There's the birth of ideas. You're really setting out what you want to do. This is the beginning of a productive time after what has been probably something of a bit of a barren stretch, I think. You'll be very peaceful by nature, and what you want to do is avoid conflict during January, so use that great Libran diplomacy that's there. Very good for people in a domestic career here as well. Something new is entering into your life now, so prepare yourself and say to yourself, I am now ready for the new beauty in my life. Now, it just is the case that sometimes we have a lot of ideas, and then what we can't do is we're having trouble making up our mind about what is the right idea to take. The reason why I say that is because I have the spiritual astrology here of Jupiter in the first decan of Gemini, that 21st to the 31st of May. Well, Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and Gemini is at the complete opposite side on the zodiac wheel from Sagittarius. And so Jupiter is in detriment, and Jupiter is weakened by that questioning, thinking nature of Gemini, which inhibits Jupiter. So a weakened Jupiter means that maybe you feel that you can't get what you want due to too many, that's the Gemini aspect, too many distractions, which frankly may or may not have been self-created. There's a sense here that you have a fear of failure, or that you might be wanting to hold yourself back or even quit before you start. I've got to say, though, that you do move forward and you have great success. So you're taking the advice of these cards here to heart, and you are betting on yourself. Now, there can sometimes be worry which results from thinking too much, and you can have difficulty in making a choice. Well, as I say, spiritually, I see Jupiter coming into the picture here, so let things rest and develop on their own for a while, and as long as doubt concerning decisions remains, don't go for anything new. Jupiter, you see, is the representative of unforeseen and unexpected change for the better, and any problem which seems to be unable to be solved in February will find its own solution in its own way. The thing to do is to just remove yourself from the situation mentally, take a mental health break, and allow Jupiter to come in and do its work and fix it up for you. But you do then get things moving along really well, because here we have this card of the Judgment, which is in its traditional mythical sense. Now, this fire here, I can assure you there is no fire after you leave your physical body here. This is a time, I think, when you do make a decision, and it has a major impact on your life. Now, that might be a lifestyle or work, but these, or with respect to a relationship, but this is going to be positive. Now, it's a time to move on after seeing the bigger picture. And maybe, just as this card was recommending here, you take some time out, take a mental health break so that you can see the bigger picture. Because this is a natural period of healing, of growth, and of shedding things and people who no longer serve you. You'll be very gifted at starting and finishing things at the same time, and you'll be quite choosy about things. And interestingly, I think you'll be open to criticism, and you will have a great degree of critical self-analysis, but there is closing off of things now, and you are going to have great resolve, and the actions that you take, they are going to be well thought out, and there'll be no turning back. And you see, the universe works in a funny way, doesn't it? Because look what's happening here in April. You have this card that's coming in. And this card in April here, this energy that's around here, the spiritual astrology I get is Mercury ruling the third decan of Virgo, the 13th to the 22nd of September. Well, in ordinary astrology, Mercury rules Virgo, and it is also exalted in Virgo. So there's good communication skills with Mercury and good organizational ability as a result of Virgo. So there is success and abundance with this energy here. There is inner and outer richness and the ability to make the inner wealth visible and to share it with others. Now, it's worthwhile just making a comment about that. Do you know about your inner wealth, and do you share it generously? But say this to yourself: I am internal. Look, I'm getting abundance here. I'm getting sense of good financial boost here. Good lifestyle is what I'm getting here. Say this to yourself: I am internally and externally rich and free and enjoy everything thankfully and in surrender. We then move into May, don't we? And we have here the major arcana of the Lovers. Well, this is a lot of Gemini energy around this. Gemini energy is basically where the divine fills everything in the space-time continuum. And what I see here is love, attraction, approaching people, and you being approached. There's connection. There's the union of opposites through love. The meaning of this energy, I think, really does center around the reconciliation of opposites, bringing people together, and also of you becoming conscious through relationship. But there are choices for you to make as well. There may be choices to do with partnerships, to do with business and things that you're doing in work. You might find that you're at something of a crossroads, you know, and you could be falling in love. There's commitment here, maybe an engagement, and maybe choosing between two lovers. I think you need to look at all angles before making a decision. You might find that you're also called on to be a mediator or a peacemaker, and you could be making a major life choice on the direction ahead of you. I do think that there's going to be a mutual look, you are going to be sexually attracted to someone whether or not you act on it. But you might find that that person is also sexually attracted to you. But this is a major arcana card, you see, and so it's not likely to be a one-night stand. Now, with these choices that you might be called upon to make, or, ideas that you have, it's important to make sure that they remain tangible. Why am I getting that? I'm getting Aquarius around here. I'm getting Capricorn around here. I'm getting a lot of intuition and creative thinking and cutting through all entanglements and becoming free of limited ideas and models. There's a clear perception that you have. Now, there could well be a young man, maybe Aquarius, maybe Capricorn, but it could also be a woman who is actually quite intellectual, full of ideas and plans, very clever, but somewhat unstable, and a person who could be quite domineering, sort of elusive, hard to pin down, and somebody who is very impressionable. Now, such a person is purely intellectual and full of ideas which kind of fall over each other one after another. There's a mass of fine ideas, but they're all unrelated to practical things. There's a cleverness here, but there's no particular purpose, and the person can be sort of happy to move along to any of the ideas rather than making things happen, because they say, well, look, any idea I have is just as good as anything else. And basically what the person does is they reduce things to unreality by sucking the actual facts out of things and converting them into unsustainable ideas. So it's important for you, I would say, and I'm moving away from that person, but bringing this to you now. I think that you'll be good at creating ideas quickly, but be careful that you don't move on too fast from an idea without developing it, without really giving it a chance, without doing all the work around it. Because your intellect, I think, might be very draining to other people who may not be able to keep up with you, you know. You're going to be independent. Some people might find you difficult to get to know during this period. And I think really what's coming here is that this is a time to, in a sense, mentally to slow down and analyze your thoughts to see if something practical can be gained from them. But say this to yourself, though, because this is true. My creative possibilities have no limits, but they do need to be grounded. And look what happens when you do get those things grounded, which I'm sure you are going to do, because by July, you're coming in here, and the spiritual energies that are coming around this, represented by the astrology, is Mars in the second decan of Capricorn. Well, look, Mars is actually exalted in Capricorn, so this is in ordinary astrology, so this is really good. And Mars here, lot of people say that Mars is a troublemaker and everything, but Mars here is bringing you energy, assertion, and vitality, and Capricorn is bringing practicality, making things tangible. So you do go through that process. And so, as I say, Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So the energy of Mars is very constructive in this scenario in Capricorn, rather than its often very destructive self. And Capricorn's materialism benefits from the energy and the activity of Mars. So this energy here, I think, says to me that if you put time and energy and effort into work, however broadly you want to define that, things are going to turn out favorably. There's gradual progress here. And there's also great self-confidence. Now there's career satisfaction and you'll be doing a good job. And there's continued progression, productivity. I think there's some teamwork involved here for you, consulting with others, and you might even be getting some outside help. Now then in August, why does this not surprise me that you've got here see, these things don't happen by chance, do they? Now here's Mars again here, so this continued great energy, assertion, vitality, productivity of Mars is shown up this time in the energy of Aries, which is all over this card here. And I think what this is saying that you will actually be heading off into some new directions. You'll be seen as a leader, as someone who can make things happen. Do you know, I think you'll have a great degree of creative wisdom and certainly great leadership qualities. And within you, there's going to be a real urge for action. You'll have a bias for action, and you'll be quite adventurous. There's new beginnings here, but I think also that what you are going to do is you are going to rely on order, structure, and those things which have been proven to work. You'll be very ambitious, and you'll be taking a firm stand, well, with yourself and also with other people, I think. Now, you'll have power and judgment with you, and that's a result of your life experiences to date. And there's a success here for you, and this is success through discipline, self-discipline, and application. Now, I also think that status is going to be important to you, as is material security and stability. And I do have to say this, only because it's literally an energy coming up, that you might find that you are quite volatile and aggressive from time to time. You're not going to be passive at all. And then in September, look, you can't make this up, because here's this tremendous energy of Mars sticking with you again. I have the spiritual astrology attribution of this energy here being Mars in the first decan of Aries. Now you saw Aries there, and this Aries energy is coming through, and Mars is coming through as well here. Now Mars here is in its own sign of Aries. And so what I see here is you having something of a warlike energy, you being a dynamic pioneer, dominating or mastering the situation or dominating another person or a situation. Certainly, I don't think you're going to be satisfied with your lot, and you will be focusing your intent. Now, when I say domination, maybe the better word to use is command, in the sense of having command of yourself as well. This condition demands that your energies are collected and concentrated to provide the courage necessary to embark on new paths, which you will have. Now, whatever changes may occur along the way, you are not going to be thrown off balance. Now, I must say that you are going to be overcome by a boldness, a courage, a fierceness, and, dare I say it, a sort of a shamelessness. But you'll be generous and proud. But there could also be within you a desire for revenge. And you'll have a great degree of resolution with you. Certainly, your preset boundaries of your spirit, your spirit is beginning to rebel against those boundaries. Come hell or high water, and you are moving forward. You'll be using your willpower to break through stagnant situations and remove long-standing blocks. This is a time to act, and act on instinct and what you believe to be right, without overthinking the ability. And certainly these powers of dynamic leadership, ability and energy which have been building up are coming to the fore right now. Now, did I say that you would have a bias for action? Well, this is continuing this theme here in the Eight of Wands. Now, the spiritual astrology for me of this Eight of Wands is Mercury. Mercury ruling the first decan of Sagittarius, that 23rd of November to the 2nd of November. Well, Mercury is the planet of communication, and Sagittarius has the swiftness of the arrow. And this produces in you something of a restless intellect, I think. Now, this 8, which is here, also speaks to me of power, balance, harmony, practicality, skill, and decision. So you will be clear, direct, and fast in how you communicate things, and you'll overcome misunderstandings. You'll be overcoming obstacles, and events are going to be moving fast for you. This is a strike while the iron is hot sort of energy. Opportunities will be arriving quickly, and you will see the manifestation of results in things that you are working on coming along very quickly. Do you know you can transform any situation, problem, or obstacle by taking swift action with direct communication to resolve it? And this is highlighting the need for you when you get to this period to use clear communication to make things happen that you want to have happen in your life. Now, you need to also then be very clear with other people. And you can expect to be busy, as this card has a lot of energy propelling you to your goals. And I think you might quickly complete a project that is underway. But determine where your energy is to be directed. Focus it, and then get on with it. Well, you don't seem to be able to get away from Mars, and why would you? Because Mars in your year is the great ally of you. It's not at all a problem. And here we have Mars in full attack mode coming in to break down the tower. Now, what we see here is, I think for you, really a period where there is some quite far-reaching inner transformation. You really are growing. You're growing it's like you're blooming. This for me actually is the highest healing card of the deck. It says healing here as well. There is, I sense, a review of your conscience and coming to peace with yourself and with your God. Certainly the old is going to be destroyed to make room for the new. There is a spiritual renewal. There's a self-knowledge. There's release. There's revelation. There is the breaking down of old forms or patterns, and there is something here of the calm after the storm here. I think that you will be in the midst of, or will be about to enter into, and it's going to drag through into December and probably January as well, an extremely intensive transformatory process. Now, whatever is destroyed or shaken within you serves to purify you and to make room for something new, so allow it. And you probably want to ask yourself at that time, are you ready to view yourself and life with new eyes? And also say this to yourself: who I think I am is a belief to be undone. I have the ability to heal and to restore myself at all times. I am not inside my body. My body is inside me, and everything that happens in my life happens for the best. And as proof of that happening, and to reward you as you go through this spiritual and psychological transformation and making peace with your God, is this card, which is saying that you will in December have material success. And this is also going to carry into the next year as well, because I see the moon ruling the second decan of Taurus here, the 1st to the 10th of May. Well, in ordinary astrology, the moon is exalted in Taurus, which is a good sign. But the moon is transient, isn't it? It's dark, then it waxes, it becomes full, it wanes, and it goes. Now, the moon likes nurturing and comfort. And Taurus is the poster child for love of material things. So the moon and Taurus are well suited for bringing about material success here for you. Now, this is talking about external manifestation of the inner. There's success here for you. There's also transformation, but generosity and paying it forward. I think you'll be receiving a financial boost. It's also a reminder for you to remember the successes that you have had in life and to build on those. Don't reinvent the wheel all the time. Certainly there is a desire for the success. And, well, if you have a desire for success, then be willing to take risks, be committed, trust your intuition. Be open to this success that's coming now. It's no less than a gift you can learn to accept thankfully and humbly. But real success only comes once you have learned to serve, and success under these conditions enriches all levels of your being. Say this to yourself when you get into December to take you into the following year. My self-acceptance and self-confidence, they are the keys to real success. Well, this looks like it could be your best year ever.
I thought that was fascinating, didn't you? And didn't you enjoy the artwork on the cards? It's so unusual, isn't it? You don't really see anything like it anywhere like that. I must try and remember who it was that gave this to me. And you know, the best thing is with tarot decks is that people actually gift them to you rather than you buy them yourself. Did you know that? And the tradition is to tie string around the deck before you give it to the person as well. That's the old tradition anyway. But look, if you did enjoy the reading, please do me this favor, and it's the only thing that I ask for you. Would you smash the like button on the way out, because it's good for the YouTube computer thing. You know, you understand how that works, probably a lot better than I do, I must say. But until I see you again, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. And until then, it's bye for now.